Well, joining us now is Zach Smith, legal fellow in the Meese Center for Legal and Judicial Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Zach, thanks for being with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, that was quite the rundown. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but the Supreme Court's decision overturns the Ninth Circuit's ruling that disregarding provisional ballots submitted at the wrong precinct and the law making it a felony to submit another person's ballot violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. What does Section 2 say? Help us understand this.
Yeah, so the Voting Rights Act, specifically Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, is intended to make sure that everyone has an open and fair opportunity to participate in the political process. And so obviously Arizona's law had been challenged. Opponents of the law said it had a disparate impact on Black and minority voters. But the court looked at the data, looked at the information, looked at the legal theories, and said that Arizona's requirement that voters cast their ballot in their assigned precinct on Election Day and its prohibition on vote trafficking did not violate either Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act or, with respect to the vote trafficking provision, also did not violate the 15th Amendment. And legally speaking, I think that's the correct decision, and it's really an encouraging one as many states grapple with these very difficult issues.
So the voting restrictions from Arizona are mired in controversy. Should they be?
No, I don't think so. As the court explained very well in its opinion, these are common sense restrictions that when you view them in the totality of the electoral scheme in Arizona, really, Arizona has made voting very easy. Just because voting may not be as convenient as a particular voter would like, or there may be incidental burdens to voting, does not mean that Arizona is trying to discriminate against certain voters, or that they've acted inappropriately or illegally under either the relevant laws or the Constitution. And so I think this is an important decision, and one that, again, will be very important as many other states grapple with these very same issues.
Zach, what does this mean now for voting rights in Arizona, and could it influence the nation possibly?
Well, it absolutely could influence the nation. I think it means that Arizona's law that they enacted to protect their electoral process will remain in place, which is encouraging. And then it also has important ramifications for the recent lawsuit that the Department of Justice filed against the state of Georgia. And in fact, one of the allegations that the Biden DOJ made against the state of Georgia was that its out-of-precinct policy, which was similar to Arizona's, discriminated against Black and minority voters. But in light of today's decision in Branovich versus the DNC, it seems likely that the Department of Justice will either have to dismiss or revise its complaint in its lawsuit against Georgia.
Yeah, so you probably already touched on this, but just to elaborate, Democrats point to voting laws like the one in Arizona as evidence for the need for a federal election law overhaul. Do laws like this give them ammunition for their cause?
Well, they shouldn't. Again, these are common sense measures designed to help protect the integrity of the electoral process. And as Justice Alito made clear in his opinion today, the state has a legitimate interest in preventing and detecting election fraud. And that's exactly what Arizona and these other states are trying to do with these new election-related measures.
Right. Zach, thanks so much for being with us today on Faith Nation, and have a great 4th. God bless you.
Of course, have a happy 4th of July.